Okay, we're about to continue with this video. There was a glitch, and but we have restored this. Now we're going to name it part 11 ABC to where we stopped. So let's continue. We were talking about these. We have added dependencies, and by the guide here, it tells us that the current version of the Spring Boot. You select the version of the Spring Boot. This is the current version of Spring Boot as at the time they created this guide. But at this time, this is the current version of highest version of Spring Boot. So you do that, and then you click on generate. When you click on generate, it will generate this starter for you. This is the starter. Alright, it enables you to start up the project, to create the project. So when you do that, then the guide says that the project created by this contains Spring Boot framework. A framework makes Spring Boot ready to work inside your application without much of code or configuration required. So, and then it has already downloaded. So what you do next is to open this inside your IntelliJ IDE. Look at it. I will copy it, then open your IntelliJ. Where do we keep our applications? I think it's inside something Angular. And this, okay, this is for batch A. This is it. This is yours. Batch B. Is it? Yes. Yeah, so this is where I'm going to paste it. Then after pasting, you extract it here. When you extract, then you delete this. It's not needed anymore. And then you look for it here. This is it. This is your application. Then this is IntelliJ. You open from the folder you have stored it. I think this is it. Then you check. These are projects, and your own. The one we're going to open here is Spring Boot. This is it. Okay. So you open it, and then you select this first folder, and click on open. So what is it doing right now? Look at something here, resolving dependencies. It is trying to sync all the dependencies we have mentioned. We have mentioned only one dependency, which is web, but it's like we have a very slow connection. That's why it's taking this time. While it is doing this, let's explore the. Okay, it is done. It is done. So, since it is a tutorial, let me see if they have explained all these. Okay, so let me make some explanations here before we continue. You know, in the other video we have explained all these things, but the fact that there were a lot of complaints, that's why I said we should go by what they have on in the official website. So here, the first you do, look at, this is your application, this is the folder where your application is located, and this is the application name. IDEA is the folder for your IDE, which is IntelliJ. Then Maven, that means your building environment. The Maven, your dependency manager, that's your Maven. We've selected Maven. If you select Kotlin, you see Kotlin. If it is Groovy, you see Groovy. Then your source. This is the folder where all that you are going to be writing, your source application will be stored. I mean, your source code will be stored here. You know, it's not going. You are not going to write anywhere. You need to be very careful about where do you write what. Then next is the main. and under it you've selected that you want to use Java for the development. So you click on it. When you click on it, it gives you your package name. Can you recall that we have used package name as com.class.spring boot hello?
Yes.
Come to the initializer here. This is our initializer, and this is what it gets displayed there. This is your package name. This is your package name. So it copies from there, since it is being packaged, it's exported from the zipped file. So this is what you have currently. There are other things. We're going to discuss so many things here. This is your resources. This is the application, the property. I don't know if we can cover up to that, but in the last video we have discussed this. We have done some work on this because we added so many APIs and so many dependencies. So for now, I think with this, now let's come to the package, the default package. This is your default package, which is com.cloudsoft, the Spring Boot hello. Then under Java still we have, under the package we have the name of the server and the servlet initializer. So these two files are very important. The servlet, in Java, when it comes to the development of web application, it is actually being handled by a class called servlet. This I don't want to go into, but those people who have studied JSF, Java Server Faces and Prime Faces, this is what I'm saying. If you have studied this JSF, JSF Prime Faces, you got to understand what I'm saying, because here you'll be dealing with servlet and the rest. But I don't want us to divert our attention. Let's just understand that the application start running from when you try to execute, it will first of all invoke the servlet class. This is the servlet initializer. Then the servlet initializer invokes this class that contains the name of the application, and inside this class there is the main method. Java start running from where? Java start running from main method. So it gets to invoke the initializer, which is the servlet initializer. Then initializer bootstrap the main class. The main class that contains the name of the application and the main method. Then your application gets started. So this is what is really happening. Before we continue with the guide over there, let's run our application. For you to run the application, you come to the application name here. Under this package, double click it. It opens here. This is your main method. Then you click on this. This is first way of running it. We'll study how you run the application in multiple ways, not only one. So it says it is building. Alright, it started running the application. It says Spring. So that tells you that Spring has already been installed in even though when it has finished running. So you see it has run, and there isn't any error here. It says process finished with exit code 0. Not any problem. If there is problem, you're going to see the number of error messages here. Yes. So, and then please let's visit the dependency manager, the pom.xml, where our dependencies are kept. This is it. Double click it. It opens. I want to see it very boldly. I double click on the tab, and then it opens only the class. Only the file. Please, you need to sit down and study this. But then the main thing is, this is the parent. We have so many tags. The first thing is we have the tag that talks about the XML, the version of the XML, and the UTF. I mean the encoding, which is UTF-8. Then the project, and then next is parent. It tells you it is Spring Boot and Spring Boot 3.3, the starter. Whenever you initialize your project from the starter, it gives you this automatically. All right. Then followed by the group ID. The group ID is CloudSoft, com.cloudsoft, followed by the name of the application. This is the artifact, down to where you have written your description. Okay, this tells you version 0.0.1. That means you are just starting. Then the JDK version is 17. So this is how it is. But please, from here, dependencies, you need to take cognizance here. The dependencies we are using right now is, one, you are using the Spring Boot, which is the Spring Boot starter web. This is because we have chosen web here as your dependency. That's the reason why it has embedded this as your dependency. Then whenever I add a dependency, it mentions it. But the fact that I've already exported from the initializer here, I exported my application and I open it in IntelliJ. When I need another dependency, I will not come back here. I will add it from the pom.xml. Yes, you're going to see how we're going to do that. Because the dependencies are not, you search them online, pick from the source, then you specify which do you need. Dependency for Maven, dependency for Gradle, dependency for Ent, dependency for Groovy. The formats vary. Even though if you copy for dependency for Gradle and you paste on Maven dependency pox.xml, it will convert it automatically. It does that. Yes, you don't have problem. You are covered. So this is the starter, and then the Tomcat. You know, we mentioned that when you select web, the initializer will automatically embed Tomcat application, Tomcat server application. It's a Tomcat server on the inside the dependencies. So that's why you see this. We didn't add it, but it is there by default. And then we have the tester. The starter test also is there as it is by default. So this is the end of dependency. So if you want to add your own dependency, you add it from here. You see dependency, open and close tag. But this is the close tag of the dependencies. Are we there? Good. Somebody is not with us. Somebody, you replicate what I did immediately. I haven't seen your project. I've been saying it in the video. Everybody will hear. When you present them, we ask you to present on the video. Sambo, you're doing nothing. What's wrong with you? Okay, let's continue. So now go back to the tutorial here. This is what the guy says. What the developers do. They said add your code. That open the project in your IDE and locate application.java. But this is their name of the application. They call it application. Look at it. Okay, demo. They haven't even, the guy told that he has given it demo application.java. This is the main class for the application. So they thought they have renamed it. That's why it's very, very good for you to understand something. Otherwise, you have problems. The file in demo folder here. Now, change the content of the file by adding extra methods and annotations shown in the code. You can copy and paste. Why should you copy and paste while you are learning? Now, look at something. This is what we call annotations. Add Spring Boot application and then REST controller. It tells you these are the annotations. So don't worry, we'll explain them right now. Then this in our let me close pom.xml. This is the main class, and this is our main method. Okay. Sorry, let me make this bolder, and I think okay, this is not. I wanted to, but you see, I wanted to increase the font size, but I think I have to do some things here. But you are seeing, right? So it's all right. So now when you look at what we have here, the package name is the package name where this is being created, which is the default package. All right. Look at it here. This is the package name com.class of the Spring Boot hello. That is your default package. Then the import, it has imported some libraries, and these libraries are one, it has imported all the Spring framework that boots the Spring application. The reason why it's imported is because it has used one annotation called Spring Boot application. If you remove this out of it, it tells you okay, so that means two of these are for each. So these are all the Spring Boot application is for what I've removed, and I brought it back. So whenever you call an annotation, it tells you to kind of and this I think is for these applications, Spring Boot and this. So now let's quickly do something here. What is Spring Boot application annotation? And before even this, have we ever searched for what is annotation or annotation? In Spring Boot framework, look at what this guy is saying. Annotations are powerful features in Java Spring Boot that provide metadata about your code, allowing you to configure and customize your application. Of course, annotation configures kind of application. They are used to simplify and streamline the configuration and management of various aspects of your Spring Boot. Of course, if you are not going to use Spring annotations, that means you are going to write boiler codes. You write a lot of, even in JSF and parentheses, we use annotations. Yes. So here, the Spring Boot annotation, this annotation, Spring Boot application, it is an annotation that is equivalent to using add configuration or enable auto configuration. And in a nutshell, it configures your application. That's the nutshell. You understand? If you want to read more about it, you can dive in and read more about it. So, and it's normally by default. You're going to see it by default. It will just add it for you by default. So that means it makes it an application, Spring Boot application by default. So then, but then this is that we have. Then the controller, we have REST controller. This is what enables endpoint to be added onto the application. If you also search from the net here, the controller, it introduce REST controller annotations, and this is what the REST is, a specialized annotation. Oh, I forgot that I'm on a video, and the video is getting lengthy. It combines the functionality of controller and response body annotation. Simply the creation of a controller that returns data directly to the client. This is a backend, and it will be connected to a front end. So it will collect. It is this controller that enables you to collect information from front end to the back end, and from back end back to the front end, two-way, end to end. Yes, restful services. So without this, you can't communicate with the backend. This REST controller. So the controller and the REST controller, two of them. So that means we must have to add an annotation here. They used REST controller. Look at what's going to happen. As I click, it will import. Can you see it has imported REST controller package and libraries for you? Are we there? Yes. And so back to what they have in here. So we've done now REST API. So this enables us to connect the two ends, even though we have what we call cross origin. We're going to discuss that later. But this enables you to fetch from the request body into what you have at the endpoint, and from endpoint back to as a response. So then I think next is for you to create the another controller called mapping. We need to study these things. This is the endpoint. When you call the port number where the application is running / whatever written here is going to run your application and then to run what is there. Okay, so this get map. We have endpoint for posting, and we have for what? For posting and for getting, and for post, delete, and the rest. So specifically, mapping is it's a composed annotations that act as shortcode for request mapping. Okay, request mapping for the request, for the get request, for the post request, so let me add. That means we need to do this within the class, and I'll add get mapping hello from here. This is the end of our class. End of the class. Here we need to have get mapping, and then another method here. Okay. That is it. I think this is not. Add value. Okay. Yes, you can add value. Then a method called hello, string method public. Alright. The reason why it is showing me this is because the type for the method is string. So I need to return something. I need to return string. It's either I return string or I return what I'm working on. Temporarily, let me say return this. So something is coming up. Of course, this video is getting lengthy, but it has to be lengthy because we are introducing some concepts here. So our endpoint is what? /hello, right? And then we try to create a method that we will be calling, that will be doing the work of this /hello, and we call it string, and I returned this, but I will return something here later. I don't want to see the error message. When you remove it, since it is a method that with a type, it's not void, then you have to actually maintain this. You have to Good. So let's study what is here. This we are doing it from the official site of the. We said it is public, and then the request param. You know what is param? Parameter, right? You know we talk about request body, right? And we talk about this annotation, get mapping. The request param, it's going to request name and what? It's requesting parameter, name and a value. Then okay, the parameter start from here to here. Okay, it's requesting two things. Okay, name, string name, value. I'm trying to figure out something. Okay, we have two different. This is the type of the parameter, which is string, and it is name. And the string has it has value and it has default value. Okay, the value is name and the default value is world. Then it returns. Let me just go with this method. Then I said we are going to return something. It returns the name. Okay, but with a formatted something. It is being formatted. It will say hello and your name. Hello, whatever name you have. So name is the parameter written. Of course, you're going to see some kind of changes in the way you've been writing Java something. Let me comment this and I'll paste this one here. Okay. So now the code requests to create simple hello web whatever simple. The hello method we have added is designed to take a string parameter called name exactly and then combined this parameter with the world, hello world. Of course, yes, it takes it and it concatenates with what? Because here you are string like what we call string builders. Instead of you concatenating, these days there is this we call code optimizations and all this. Actually, if you please try to check Java code optimizations. Check it. It will tell you that you should stop using concatenations because concatenation is taking memory. It will slow down your system when it is being accessed by thousands or millions of users. Rather, you use what we call string builders, and this is it. String builder, instead of you concatenating, string builder will do it for you automatically using its built-in methods. So string dot format, it will format and then it will concatenate at the same time. It formats this and it prints out name with a formatted something, with a hello, whatever. So it's going to do the two for you. It will concatenate at the same time, print out. So please try to visit what I said, code optimization. It tells Spring to use hello method to answer the request that gets sent to the local host. The port number is 8080, but for my own case, I'm going to use I think I used a different one. Let me check from the properties. Okay, it is 8080. You can see server port, server.port. Then you give it a value here. I can say 8081 for example. I know I have another application running in 8080 that could be conflict. Or let me say 8085. So when I run it, to run under what do you call this Spring param, the parameter is not being so I imported it. When you hover your mouse around there, press space and spacebar and control to give you option. Then I think the application is now okay. We can run it. You come to the application here. Okay, that's where I am. Then you run. So the application is now running. Look at it here. If I click it to stop, then how do I access it? How do I access this app? To access it, you need to access this endpoint. And from it, look at the local host here. Local host, then our own, it will be 8085, then slash hello, then it will access the endpoint. So you're going to do something like this. I can say localhost. Instead of 8080, it will be 8085 slash, then hello, and press enter. Firefox can't establish a connection to the server localhost 8085. It seems there is a glitch somewhere. Let's check it. I don't want this video to be lengthy. Let's resolve our problem, then